The moment you broadcast your success, you sign your own death warrant. Every time you flash your achievements, display your wealth, or announce your next move, you aren't building respect. You are handing your enemies a detailed instruction manual on how to destroy you. In the world of real power, the loudest voice in the room is always the first one silenced. Think about your last big win. You posted it, talked about it, made sure everyone knew. You thought you were inspiring others. You were wrong. You were begging for validation from people who secretly want to see you fail. You traded operational security for a 3-second dopamine hit. You invited envy, sabotage, and betrayal into your life, and you did it with a smile on your face. Why did you really share that success? Be honest with yourself. Was it to help others? No. It was because you are addicted to the approval of people who wouldn't cross the street to help you if you were bleeding out. You have been conditioned by a broken system that tells you visibility equals value. You've been socialized to believe that if you don't announce your wins, they don't count. This is a lie designed to keep you exposed and vulnerable. Machiavelli warned that those who cannot conceal their advantages will always be at the mercy of those who can. Think about the last time you celebrated publicly. What happened next? Did your so-called friends become more supportive? Or did they suddenly become distant, competitive, or conveniently unavailable? You noticed it, didn't you? That shift in energy. That coldness disguised as congrats. You dismissed it as paranoia. It wasn't. It was the biological response of people who suddenly saw you as a threat to their own status. You forced them to recalculate their position relative to yours. By showing off, you didn't gain allies. You manufactured enemies. Every achievement you broadcast is a map that shows your competitors exactly where you are vulnerable. You think you're building a brand. You are actually building a target. You are spending mental energy maintaining an illusion while your rivals are spending theirs finding your weaknesses. You are fundamentally wrong about what power looks like. Real power doesn't announce itself. It moves in silence while everyone else is distracted by noise. Today we are dismantling the visibility trap and replacing it with the Machiavellian silence protocol. This is the framework that separates those who perform power from those who possess it. Most of you will ignore this message. You'll keep posting your progress, keep talking about your grind, keep showing the world your hand before the game is over. Your ego is louder than your intelligence. If you want the temporary applause of the crowd, leave now. This isn't for you. But if you want the permanent sovereignty of the strategist, if you want to move through life as a ghost that no one sees coming until it's too late, then stay. Because the most dangerous person in any room isn't the one everyone is watching. It's the one everyone has forgotten to watch. The one who has mastered the art of strategic invisibility. The one who understands that in the game of power, the player who is seen is the player who loses. Point 1. Your wealth and resources. You walk into spaces and you need people to know you're doing well. You buy the expensive watch. You upgrade the car. You drop hints about your investments or your side income. You think this project's success. What you're actually doing is painting a glowing target on your back and inviting everyone to take their shot. When you show off your money, you aren't earning respect. You are creating auditors. Every person who sees your display immediately begins calculating how much of your wealth they can extract. Your broke friends start seeing you as a personal ATM. Your family starts treating you like a safety net for their poor decisions. The government takes a closer look at your taxes. Business partners start inflating their prices the moment they sense you have money to burn. You've noticed it, haven't you? Since you started looking successful, people have started treating you differently. Not with more respect. With more expectation. They don't see a friend anymore. They see a resource to be exploited. You've traded your financial privacy for the temporary status of being the guy everyone hits up when they need something. You aren't a king. You're a sponsor. You're funding other people's lives while they silently resent you for having what they don't. This is the wealth display paradox. The moment you show it, you lose control of it. Everyone around you starts making plans for your money before you do. Machiavelli understood that a prince must never let his subjects know the full extent of his treasury. The moment they know you're wealthy, they stop fearing you and start resenting you. They begin to feel entitled to your resources. Your wealth becomes theirs in their minds. The strategic alternative is tactical poverty. You dress one level below your actual means. You drive a car that doesn't attract attention. You live in a home that doesn't scream success. You let people assume you're just getting by. This isn't about being humble. This is about being invisible to predators. When people think you have nothing worth taking, they move on to easier targets. Point 2. Your relationships and inner circle. The second fatal mistake is broadcasting your personal life. You post your partner. You show your private moments. You make your relationship public property. You think you're celebrating love? What you're actually doing is inviting comparison, envy, and targeted attacks on the one thing that matters most to you. You've been posting your happiness to prove you're winning at life. Every photo, every caption about how blessed you are, every public display of affection is an invitation for miserable people to find reasons why your relationship must be fake, toxic, or built on lies. You are putting your private peace on a public stage and then wondering why everyone is throwing stones at it. People who hate their own lives cannot stand to see you thriving in yours. Your relationship success is a mirror that reflects their relationship failure. By showing off your partner, you've given every person in your circle a reason to look for cracks in your armor. They study your posts looking for signs of trouble. They screenshot your arguments if they ever see them. They gossip about whether you're really happy or just pretending. You've turned your love into a spectator sport where everyone is hoping to see you lose. Machiavelli wrote that a wise prince keeps his most valuable assets hidden from public view. Your relationship is your most valuable asset. It's the foundation of your peace, your stability, your psychological strength. The moment you make it visible, you make it vulnerable. Your enemies will attack you through the people you love because that's where you're weakest. They'll befriend your partner just to create doubt. They'll flirt just to test loyalty. They'll plant seeds of suspicion disguised as concern. The strategic move is relationship blackout. Your partner should be a mystery to everyone outside your home. No posts. No public appearances. No information about how you met, where you go, or what your dynamic looks like. Let people wonder. Let them speculate. Give them nothing. When they ask about your relationship status, your answer is always vague. This isn't about hiding. This is about protecting what matters by removing it from the battlefield entirely. Point 3. Your next move. This is the most catastrophic leak of all. You've been teasing your next project, your big idea, your upcoming launch. You think you're building anticipation. You are actually alerting the competition and giving them time to destroy you before you even start. Every time you announce a plan before execution, you commit strategic suicide. You tell your competitors what market you're entering so they can get there first. You tell your colleagues what position you're gunning for so they can undermine you with management. You tell your circle what business you're starting so they can copy your model or spread doubt about your ability to succeed. You think you're manifesting or building accountability. You are telegraphing your punches and wondering why everyone keeps blocking them. Think about the last time you shared a big plan. What happened? You felt amazing for about 24 hours. Then your motivation mysteriously evaporated. Why? Because you got the dopamine reward of success without doing any of the work. Your brain released the same chemicals it would have released if you'd actually achieved the goal. You tricked yourself into feeling accomplished while accomplishing nothing. But worse than that, you gave everyone around you advance notice of where you're headed so they could set up roadblocks. Machiavelli was explicit about this. He wrote that a prince should never reveal his true intentions until the moment of execution. When you strike, it should already be too late for your enemies to respond. Surprise is your greatest weapon. By talking about your move, you surrender surprise. You give them time to prepare countermeasures. You allow them to steal your idea and execute it faster. You invite them to plant doubt in your mind about whether you can actually pull it off. The law of the finished fact is absolute. You do not discuss what you are going to do. You only reveal what you have already done, and even then, only when it's so deeply established that it cannot be undone. Imagine you're building a side business that will eventually replace your job. The amateur posts progress updates, hustle quotes, and late-night grind sessions. This alerts your employer that you're planning an exit. They start watching you closer. They start documenting your performance issues. They start preparing your replacement. You've made yourself a target. The Machiavellian does the opposite. They become the most reliable, most average employee in the company. They show up on time. They do their work. They never complain. They make themselves forgettable. Meanwhile, in the shadows, they're building their empire. They're signing contracts, securing clients, building systems. Then one day, with no warning, they hand in their resignation. The company is shocked. How did this happen? Because you moved in silence. By the time they realized you were a threat, you were already gone. But now we need to talk about something darker. Something you haven't considered. You think the problem is just what you show off. The real problem is why you need to show off in the first place. You are currently suffering from validation addiction. You have outsourced your sense of worth to the opinions of people who do not care if you live or die. This makes you weak. This makes you controllable. This makes you a puppet dancing for an audience that will never be satisfied. You are so insecure in your own value that you need constant external confirmation that you matter. Every post, every brag, every display is a desperate plea. You're asking the world to tell you that you're enough. But here's the trap. The world will never tell you that. The world will always demand more proof. More content. More updates. More evidence that you're still relevant. You've become a slave to the algorithm of approval. This is where you're losing the real game. While you're busy performing for strangers on social media, the real players are building in secret. They don't post their wins because they don't need to. Their self-worth isn't tied to likes or comments. They are internally validated. They know their value regardless of who sees it. This is the difference between a performer and a predator. The performer needs the crowd. The predator hunts alone. Machiavelli understood that the appearance of power is often the opposite of actual power. Those who seem powerful are usually just loud. Those who are actually powerful rarely need to announce it. Real power moves in darkness. It builds empires while everyone else is arguing about who has the better lifestyle on Instagram. You have to understand the law of inverse status. The more someone needs to show off, the less they actually have. The billionaire wears the same shirt every day. The millionaire drives a Toyota. The wannabe millionaire drives a rented Lambo and films it for content. From this second forward, you are entering an information lockdown. You will stop broadcasting your life. You will become boring to the outside world. When people ask how you're doing, your answer is always the same. Just working. Staying busy. Nothing special. You will remove yourself from the content cycle. You will delete the need for external validation from your operating system. This isn't about being humble. This is about becoming untrackable. When you're invisible, you're invincible. When no one knows what you have, no one knows what to take. When no one knows what you're planning, no one knows how to stop you. The person you were when you started this video is dead. That person needed validation. That person showed off to feel worthy. That person broadcast their life because they were terrified of being forgotten. That person was a slave to the crowd's opinion. You are no longer that person. From this moment forward, you are adopting a new identity. You are becoming the strategist. The one who moves in shadows while others chase spotlights. You are becoming the observer instead of the performer. You are building real power while others build fake influence. You understand now that visibility is a liability, not an asset. The sovereign doesn't need an audience. The sovereign operates independent of approval. This transformation brings a specific kind of freedom that most people will never experience. You are no longer bound by the need to prove yourself. You don't care if people think you're successful because you know the truth. Your worth is not negotiable. It doesn't increase when they applaud and it doesn't decrease when they ignore you. You have become a fixed point in a moving world. You are unmovable, unshakable, unmanipulatable. You are no longer trying to win the room. You are no longer competing for status in social hierarchies that don't matter. You have withdrawn from the game entirely while still collecting all the rewards. This is the ultimate power move. You let others exhaust themselves fighting for recognition while you build in silence. They are playing checkers for an audience. You are playing chess alone. And when you finally make your move, when you finally reveal what you've built, it will be so massive and so complete that there will be nothing anyone can do to stop it. This is the sovereignty of silence. This is the power of the shadow. You are no longer a participant in the visibility circus. You are the predator that hunts while the circus distracts everyone else. The old you needed to be seen to feel alive. The new you is most alive when no one is watching. If you've made it to this point, you are part of the 1%. Most people clicked away the moment the truth got uncomfortable. They went back to their social media feeds and their validation loops. They chose the comfort of the crowd over the sovereignty of the self. But you stayed. You have the rare combination of intelligence and hunger that separates winners from losers. This video was just the introduction. The full Machiavellian framework goes much deeper. If you're ready to master the psychology of strategic invisibility, if you're ready to build real power while everyone else builds fake influence, then you need to take the next step. Join the inner circle where we break down advanced power dynamics that will never make it to public platforms. This isn't a community. This is a war room for people who are done performing and ready to dominate. But before you do anything else, like this video right now. It tells the algorithm that hard truths still matter in a world drowning in comfortable lies. Subscribe and turn on notifications because the next lesson builds on this one. Miss it and you'll stay stuck in the visibility trap while others ascend to silence. Let the world wonder why you suddenly went quiet. Let them speculate about what you're doing. Give them nothing. The performance is over. The real work begins now. Stop showing off. Start showing up. In silence. In shadow. In absolute strategic dominance. The parade has ended. The war has begun. I'll see you in the next briefing.